All right, so today I'm going to be speaking about jumping to conclusions in our lives. And jumping to conclusions is one of, if not the most ignorant things that we can possibly do in the human existence, is to jump to conclusions. It is infinitely ignorant. And coincidingly, it's also extremely tempting to, in an effort to seek certainty and to give ourselves an explanation as to why things are unfolding the way they are in our lives, or why that guy gave you a dirty look. Why that guy gave me a dirty look, he must be, I don't know, XYZ, or why somebody said something to you that made you feel bad. It's so easy to just jump to conclusions in an effort to seek certainty, but actually it's one of the most ignorant things we can do. Why? Well, because if we just take a simple step back, we realize very quickly that there are often infinite possibilities as to why people say the things they do, why that guy gave you a dirty look, why that guy flipped you off in the car and cut you off, or why your best friend wronged you, or why your mom or dad, whatever. There are infinite possibilities, and there's infinite things going on in your life and infinite things going on in every other person's life that could lead you or lead them to do certain things or say certain things or act a certain way or direct energy towards you. And jumping to conclusions about it, even though it is so tempting, it's like one of the most tempting things. It's so ignorant, because what you realize is that the vast majority of the time, I don't know. We don't know why that person is choosing to live the life that they're choosing to live. We don't know why this person is doing something that on the surface seems so insanely ignorant. Who knows why? There's infinite possibilities. And obviously there's nuance here, because everything's energy, and energies can be felt very clearly, I guess in the context of other people, but also just in your life as a whole. But at the same time, there's infinite possibilities for why people act the way they do, say the things they say, etc. And so jumping to conclusions about it to give ourselves certainty, make ourselves feel better, it's so stupid. It's ignorant. And so just accepting, I guess this is an easy example. Like, you're on the street and a guy gives you a dirty look, or a girl gives you a nasty look that you have no idea who they are, and you don't know, you've never seen them in your life, and you weren't doing anything wrong, but they just glared at you, again, sent nasty energy towards you. It's so easy for us to be like, well, first of all, F that person. They they must be jealous of me, or they must be insecure, or whatever. But we have no idea why people do the things they do. And so in that circumstance, for example, instead of jumping to conclusions and then leading ourselves down a negative thought path that just ends up making us feel negatively and feel bad and think about things that we don't want and view our lives and circumstances through a negative lens, instead of doing all that and jumping to conclusions, it's so much more productive to just be like, hey, I don't know why that person did that. That was interesting. I don't know why, but I don't know why. And that's it. I mean, it's so much more in tune and aware to approach life that way, as opposed to jumping to conclusions so ignorantly. And like, if someone says something to you, or your friend does something and you don't know why they did it, makes no sense, it makes you feel bad, hey, instead of jumping to conclusions, why don't you ask them for clarification first? And until then, maybe give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, and I say this for myself because, like, obviously it's something that I've noticed in my daily life, and it's a tendency of mine that I notice, but it's very clear that it's such a common tendency nowadays, and honestly it's one of the most ignorant things we can do in our lives. So instead of jumping to conclusions, realize that there are infinite possibilities as to why people do the things they do, say the things they say, live the lives they choose to live, believe the things they believe. And so until you've either asked for clarification and gotten clarification and got a really clear, explanation, avoid the urge to jump to conclusions. Realize that you don't know what you don't know. We don't know what we don't know. Holding any negative energy towards other people, thinking negative thoughts about other people, holding hate towards other people, thinking negatively or judging other people, our negative thoughts about others can only come back to harm us. Because everything is energy, and when we transmit that energy, when we think those thoughts, we then by law of attraction attract situations, circumstances, and people that are going to make us feel like however we're thinking. Therefore, our thoughts, negative thoughts towards others, directing negative energy towards other people only comes back to harm us. And so, yeah, I mentioned that because, again, it's so easy to jump to conclusions about people and then judge them for something that they're not. And guess what? That only comes back to harm us. If we start picking apart somebody else and judging them for someone who we don't even know who they are or why they do the things they do. So yes, that's it. Thinking negative thoughts about other people can only come back to harm us. That's the only person who you're harming is yourself when you think negatively about others or hold hate or any negative emotion towards other people. All right, that's all. I love you all. Enjoy the beautifulness of existence's landscape and enjoy the day. All right, last thing here. My call to action for you and for myself is to broadcast love, right? Just broadcast love in any way that we can. Love other people for who they are. Love them unconditionally. Be as compassionate as possible, and guess what? Then your life will begin to become much more loving and compassionate yourself. Because by law of attraction it has to be. All right, that's it. Love you all.